Because it said recording in progress, but I don't think it was. Morning, Angela.
Good morning.
Hey, Angela.
Hey, Terry.
You
Uh-huh.
do a wonderful job, by the way, Angela, for your education. You do a great job. Thank you for all that you
Oh,
do.
thank you. I appreciate it. It's a team effort.
Yes, it is, but we'll wait one more minute and then get going so we don't keep you long. When did you leave yesterday, Angela? At what point?
I did leave when Tony was talking about RPAC.
Oh, okay.
So I think did Margie talk after that?
Yeah, yeah. And do you know, shoot, her name fell out of my head, but it was talking about the changes in the ethics, code of ethics. I mean, she was talking about upcoming changes, not that are currently out there, right?
Everything that she was going over is already in the changes in the Code of Ethics.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand that. All right.
Yeah, everything she read was what was either adopted last first of the year or in June, July when they voted on the new.
Last year.
hmm
Okay.
Where do I go to find this information so that I can be up to date on everything?
What, why don't we sort of put that into this meeting next month? Because I had the mistaken, I guess, understanding that, some of them were upcoming, but maybe we can just summarize the changes and point you to the right place. Um,
If you go to epbr.net and
Mm-hmm.
click on the Code of Ethics, there's an actual tab that says Code of Ethics. It'll take you right to the NAR site, and everything that's been updated or changed recently is highlighted yellow.
oh, that's good. That's helpful.
Yeah. And
Thank
it
you.
Yeah,
says
so we'll,
at the end, the date, when all the changes were. So the original, but this was changed. So you kind of know, did it change in 2020? Did it change in 2025? Did it change in 2026?
yeah, that's good. We'll summarize some of those next time, but thanks, Angela.
hmm
All right, just a few quick things I want to go over this morning. A couple of them are on forms, so let me share my screen. Share screen. Uh, Three, two, one. And then go here. Can you all see that?
Yes.
All right.
hmm
Just a couple of things real quick things on forms. Now I had it all called up and it disappeared. What's going on here? What do you mean I don't have permission? It's mine. All right. Well, that didn't work. Don't know why. Um, but we don't necessarily need the form. So two things. One on the main contract. On the main contract where it has notifications and how do I notify the seller and how do I notify the buyer, and then right below it is what's the agent's brokerage email and brokerage addresses. Those are very often sort of given as the same thing. So the notifications are the agent's numbers and the or the agent's emails, and then the emails for the brokerage is the same thing. That's okay with me. What I see occasionally and what I don't think we ought to do is notifying the broker does not constitute delivery of the item. So if you're going to say notification of the broker does not constitute delivery of the item, you have to have some way to notify the actual buyer and seller in the spaces above, not the brokerage, because you leave us open to, hey, I never found this thing out, and nobody ever told me, because there's no way to deliver it. So you understand what I mean? There's how do I notify the buyer and seller, and then there's the brokerage email addresses. But if you're going to put only the agent's email addresses and notifying the buyer and seller, we ought to say notifying the broker constitutes delivery, because otherwise there's no way to notify the seller or the buyer because there's no contact data for them.
So so it should say notifying the brokerage does not constitute delivery.
No, if all you have are the agent's email addresses, it should say does constitute delivery.
Okay. All right.
If you want to say does not constitute, then put the actual contact for the buyer and seller in there.
Okay.
Because otherwise, there's no way to contact them if there's no info for the actual buyer and seller in there.
Okay.
Okay, and then the second thing is, and I just want your all help here, because I think we do this correctly, and I've focused a lot on it, and it's right. But in the lead-based paint form, man, I see this all the time. So you all know that if it was built after 78, I'd prefer that form just not even be in the file, because it's not required, and it just gums up things and gives us an opportunity to do it wrong and get dinged for it. But lots of the other buyers and sellers do include that. I don't know if their brokerage requires it or whatever, but they'll initial that it was built after 1978 on the top of the form, which is correct. Then if you read the fine print after that, it says, in this case, complete only section 5, which section 5 is all the way down at the bottom, that we sign saying that this is all correct. And what I see very often is it was built after 78, but then the sellers will put some, disclosures in there, and then the buyers may or may not initial. And it just opens us up to the EPA coming in and dinging us. And they usually ding hard when they ding on improperly filled out forms. So where I'd like your help, because I haven't seen us getting that wrong for a while, but if you see the agent on the other side of the transaction doing it wrong, just ask them to correct it or line through it or whatever. And usually what I do if I see it wrong is I'll just tell the front office, hey, don't put this in the file when you do the record file of the for the transaction, because I just don't want it in there. But if you can help me help educate other agents, if it's built after 78, the only thing you do on that form is built after 78 and sign the bottom, and nothing in the middle should be there, including the agent's initials and in section 4 and all that. So that's just humoring me. I'm trying to get it right. 4 quick points from the brokers meeting. We already covered the changes in the ethics regulation, and I didn't realize they were new, Angela. I appreciate that, and we'll go over those in a future meeting. They are the West Virginia Commission is not merciful at all at late for late license updates. So it's due by the end of next month, the 30th of June, which means you have to have your CE done before that. And the CE has to be reported to the commission, and then you update your license and pay the fee. What they cautioned us against is don't finish the CE on the 29th, and hit send and then expect them to update the license, because they have to get the report from the CE company. So get the CE done early, get the license updated early. Angela's already done this. She's on top of everything, but and don't wait till the end, because if it goes past the 30th, you're gonna have to pay the fine for being late. A reminder from one of the people on the commission that ads, and we probably ought to go over ads again sometime soon, because they're a little different in West Virginia, Terry. But you have to put your title on the ads, and your title is not realtor, so they want to see either salesperson or associate broker. If you're putting an online ad, notifying you, and then of course you also have to include Andrew Reamer, broker, the whole thing. So remember that if you're doing some ads. And then a couple of administrative things. The EPBR, I think you remember from last year, is not collecting checks anymore. It has to be paid by credit card. And if you want to pay it in 5 chunks, the first one has to be by I think it's the 15th of July, right, Angela? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
First one has to be 15th of July, or else you just pay in one chunk before the deadline. And then the last thing is there's some old notice of agency forms that are evidently still floating around out there. They're not on zip forms. I know that. They're not on .loop either, are they, Angela, the old ones? Yes.
No, brokerage, like some brokerages that just use their own
Yeah.
forms packages and haven't updated them.
Yeah.
I just came across one on a land that listing, and it's because the listing started in 2024, and they just didn't update what was in the documents, and I just didn't use it. So
yeah. So I mean, if there are some really, really, really old listings out there, I guess I could understand it. But if you see an old NOAA come through from somebody else, like I said, the forms programs we use don't have them, so I don't think it's much of a threat to us getting it wrong. But if you see one coming through from somebody else, it doesn't take very much time. Just ask them to update it and put it on the new form, and keep us all going forward.
I have a question.
Sure.
If you're finished.
Yeah.
For your license, Grannis has my updated license. Should it have come to you, Tim?
Yeah, send it to me too, just so that I mean, it's most important that Grannis has it, but if I have it, one of the other things that we did in the broker council meeting is they put some new law on it, and it's like, I was going to send it out as, here's all the ways Murphy can get fired, that you can ensure Murphy gets fired, because it's all the ways that the commission can,
making the broker responsible for our craziness.
Yeah, revoke the license of the broker if any of your agents do all these filing things. And the very first one is if you're doing real estate business with an expired license. And actually, if you read through the cases in the West Virginia discipline, the West Virginia Commission discipline, I'll bet you half of them are expired license cases. So that all that to say, if you send it to me, then I know that it's all done and we're all good. So,
okay. Yeah. So I will go ahead and forward it to you, because like I said, I went to the training back in, what was it, April Angela? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll send it over to you now after the
Good.
meeting.
Great. Thanks.
Mhm.
That's all I have today. Any other thoughts, questions? Okay. Thanks for joining.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Tim.
We'll see
Tim.
you.
Take care, Angela.
See you, Terry.
Yeah, yeah.